Hey guys, what's up? This is gonna be a little quick update stream. I will be coming back on later too, later on this evening. But I just wanted to give you guys a little quick update on what's going on and all that kind of thing. So yeah, can you guys hear me? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Hi to everybody, Arizona, IG. Thanks for being here. Doing okay, Brittany. Thank you. Okay, everybody's got me. Thanks for asking, Brittany. I appreciate that. So hold it down in there for me, guys. Okay. Yeah. So what we'll do, guys, this is the Schumann. Again, we had a little lull again. We had this big, long-lasting spike. Now we got this happening. It just, things kind of quieted down. Now it looks like we're getting some more spikes. If you look here, looks like stuff's going to get active again. So if you guys are getting ringing in your ears and all that kind of stuff, that could be exactly what was causing it. You know, me myself, I was nauseous most of the day yesterday, and I'm not saying this is what caused it, but I don't think it helped. So, but as far as the rest of it, it's just what we've been seeing, a lot of it. So, main reason why I'm doing this stream right now is because of what I'm getting ready to show you guys. This right here. The flares are just off. I mean, just going crazy right now. You guys can see these. Okay. You know, we had another one right here. I haven't shown you guys yet. That happened, and it's just as big as the one from, yesterday, day before. So it's a middle C-class flare. We're staying about in that area, if you guys can see that. So it's not going to take us much to get up into an M class if it happens at all. Now, I know there's enough energy in those sunspots right now. If it does, it could send an M class flare this way. But also, you're also seeing some geomagnetic activity. That's probably from some coronal hole streams, but let me show you guys this. The wind speed just completely died off. I mean, it took a dive. It dropped like 100 kilometers per second. I don't know, and we've seen it drop quick like that before, but it's down. So, it's still elevated. Well, I wouldn't call it elevated. It's kind of like in the middle of normal, I guess. Maybe a little bit elevated, but 300 would be perfect conditions, I guess, if you wanted to kind of go that way with it, roughly, anyway. But the temperature here, it's hanging in there too. But the phi angle, guys, is probably what's causing the geomagnetic stuff. When it does a pole reversal, goes from negative to positive, positive, negative, whatever you want to say there. A lot of times we'll take a little smack on the magnetic activity graph here, and that's kind of what it looks like it did. But I don't know exactly if that's what caused it or not. Now, I'm sure you guys are looking at this thing thinking, what in the world is this? Well, this right here is a CME that's going to be hitting us, most likely. Now, some people are saying that it's going to just give us a small little graze, this and that. I'm not so sold on that yet. I ain't saying that it couldn't, because it most certainly could, because the one that's going to be affecting us is compact. It's not very large in size. So, just a little bit of miscalculation could really throw it off. But you guys see all this intense stuff here? That's solar wind. So, I can grab the slide here and we can move it. Now, up here on the 3rd, it's saying that we're going to be experiencing some pretty high solar wind. So what's causing that? Well, we'll take a look at it. I'm going to show you guys some capture from stereo A in the extreme ultraviolet, which is something I don't typically show because it's not facing Earth. But this will help explain what's going on there here in a minute. The Aurora forecast, I don't look for this thing really to be moving a whole lot. It might be doing some here and there, but nothing to write home about right now. You know, the geomagnetic activity did get up to a 4, which typically will push the auroras down further, but it was daytime over here when that happened. So what that means is you're seeing what's going on, right? It's up here. It's over here right now. So the auroras are going to be on the dark side of the planet. It doesn't mean that the same kind of energy isn't hitting this side. It just means that they're able to see the aurora. That's all. Okay? This is a model I don't usually show you guys, but I'm going to because it shows us when we're getting hit with these flares. Watch. See that? That's a flare. And I can say that pretty confidently because we can almost match it up with time when we go look at that other stuff. Look at the X-ray flux. And you can see this, you know, this is normal conditions here. But when we get hit with something, it'll go real bright real quick. And it'll stay up there for a second. So, you know, with the geomagnetic storm, you see that? So, those are pretty large smack. You see how it's jumping around too? So, you can see that, right? It's just another thing to look at, you know? Just to see what's going on. But, you know, I thought I'd show that to you this time. I'll probably start showing that to you a little bit more often. I'm going to do a little research on this one too, so I know exactly what it's trying to show us. You can see up here in this, let me do this again, right here, it'll actually, you know, those numbers will change. Watch. See it? When it gets to the brightest part there. I'm not sure if dB stands for decibel. I don't think it does, but I'm not sure what that abbreviation actually means. So I'm going to do some research on this. But it could, I guess, because we're talking about highest frequency affected, so you would think a decibel would be, you know, one of the measurements they would be using. But we can definitely see these flares hitting Earth just by this. And also this. Okay? This is geomagnetic, geoelectric field map. Again, it's jumping around because we're getting energy. That's just what's going on. You see that little blast there? I'm going to point something out here too. Okay? I want to show you guys something that I thought was pretty interesting. Okay, you see that, right? It's here. Now, and again, you guys know what I was talking about down here when we took some hits down here in the Gulf on this map. It seemed to be always following these hurricanes sometimes. You know, when we would still get hits down here without a hurricane, but every time we had a hurricane, we were getting hits. Like out in front of it or during it, that kind of thing. I'm not sure if the hurricane can actually affect this model. So what I'm saying is, if it doesn't, then something else is happening prior to, you know. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show, you know, why is it over here now then, right? Well, I didn't have that one pulled up, so we'll pull it up real quick. Let's go here. Okay, let's do that. Man, this thing's running slow. Wow. Okay. See, here's the hurricane right now. Right over here where we're taking that hit. So I don't know if this is actually what's causing it or if it's a result of. But what I can say is that there's typically some sort of hurricane activity when we see this stuff. Okay? The hurricane just rolled through there and now we're getting hits on this model. So, you know, it's just an observation. I don't know if they're related. but they could be. And, you know, like I said, when we were getting a bunch of hurricanes down here in the Gulf, almost every time we would take some hits like this. And that's not that big of a hit, but it is something, okay? As far as this goes, we're going to take a look at the flare here. And again, these flares are continuous almost. They're really crackling. And they're not big, but they're there. So, let's take it right here. So I'm going to show you the latest. Well, I'll run it back here. We'll look at a couple of them. Just kind of look right here. Alright. I'm going to zoom in. Just kind of look at this sunspot, because that's the one putting up all the flares right now. See that one? Okay, I think that's the one that I showed you guys earlier. I could be wrong. What time was that one? Maybe. Oh man, maybe. But we're getting quite a few of them. It's going to happen again. You see that other one? There's another one. One there. One there. That one down there looked like it flared, did it? Yeah, it did. Look at that. Well, maybe not. I don't think that was a flare. It was just, the energy was just traveling along that magnetic connection line. But there's another one. So, guys, I mean, these are like, this one here is something to watch. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. That's something that we haven't seen a flare, I mean a sunspot like that in a long time. You know, but it's going to become more and more normal, and that's why I'm showing it to you guys, because it's going to be. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. It's not bad until it like causes a bunch of problems, and we typically won't see that unless it's M class or bigger. But I'm going to show you guys the magnetic activity here, and notice the satellite line. See how the energy's inside it? Okay. It doesn't typically get in that close, guys. So what that's doing is we're getting kind of creamed in like an egg, because we're taking, you know, pressure on both sides. So when that happens, you know, you can even see it rippling around. Look at that. Watch this. It ripples around. Okay, and in my opinion, what's happening here is we're getting stuff in the front, so we're getting some energy in there, and we're releasing it. Okay, because we kind of collect it like a capacitor, and when we can't hold it anymore, we got to let it go, you know. And where does it go? It's not going to get released out towards the sun. It's going to go the path of least resistance, which is out the back. So you got, you know, I noticed this too. You got a couple little areas of more intense activity here, and they're because they're red. I mean, it's just really small right there. It kind of pinpoints where the energy is actually at, what we're seeing, as far as where we're kind of trying to deflect it, which I have to say, Earth is still doing a great job with this, okay? You know, yes, we're seeing some stuff here, we're seeing some things going on, we're reacting to things, but it most certainly is nothing to be, like, freaking out about at all, okay? But it is. The overall activity around our planet right now is active, okay? And the sun doesn't look like it's going to give us much of a break. So, and that's the latest capture right there. You can even see how we're getting hit right now on the front. We can go look at these other ones, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one right now. Now, it's showing a wind speed that I don't know that that's actually what we've got. Okay, so you're looking at 921 kilometers per second. Okay, and that one capture gets up to about 900 again. Okay, now then you get one like that. Okay, now if we're to count that as accurate, you guys know how fast that is? That's over 3 million miles per hour. So I don't know if that's accurate or not. We didn't experience that for very long, but yeah. So, you know, if you figure that out, just divide that by 3, right? 3 million miles, 3 million miles per hour, divide that by 93 million miles away, what do you get? 31 hours. That's, guys, I mean, I don't know that that's even possible, or if it's even something we should even be feasible about right now. I don't know. But the rest of the energy and stuff is traveling with it. It's not going that fast. So my thing here is that if it's going that fast, it got here in just a little over a day. I don't know if I can buy that or not. That's why I was talking about this. I mean, I would really question the accuracy of that number. You know, I'm more inclined to go here. I mean, come on, guys. The A stat is not showing it at all. Nowhere near that fast. Matter of fact, it's reading right around 400, 420. We checked the Enlil model. Even on this one, it ain't nowhere near that. So, you know, I'm left to wonder what the heck, you know. So, I don't trust that accuracy. I used to think that was about the only place to go look at it, and I was wrong because, you know, nobody ever really told me. And finally, I kind of just, you know, went on my own there and just kind of tried to research that out a little bit, and sure enough, I don't think that it is correct. I don't think you know, wind speed that fast. I mean, wow. But, you know, I don't know if we've ever. I've did videos in the past and I said 3 million miles per hour, but I was counting on that being correct. But after looking at the other models and stuff, I don't know that that was correct. So I'm actually kind of correcting myself, and I apologize for that if I was wrong. Again, I don't know if we should trust that number or not, especially when it gets up that high. Because to me, if it's moving that fast, everything around it would be moving that fast too. And it would have been out in front of the rest of the solar wind that left at the same time. So that's kind of what I'm saying here. I don't think it's that accurate. No texting. Be safe. Why are you leaving so early? Alright guys, we'll take a look at this real quick. Sorry about that. Real life was happening there here in my house. But yeah, so we'll look at the magnetopause models here. Okay, this is the Australian model, guys. And again, I like this one, probably out of all of them, I like this one the best. It's so simple to look at and see and actually look at the conditions, and that's what we go off of, right? So we really didn't get a whole lot of bouncing around there. So, you know, again, there's no way we were getting that kind of fast wind. There's no way all of these other models are wrong and that one's right. No way. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So this is stereo A. We're going to back off of that. We're going to go up here to So this is the 28th. There was a CME over this direction. Okay. This is our view. This is from Lasco C2. Earth's here. Okay. We're kind of, it's our view. And again, I showed you guys that one already in my previous video. That's actually going off the back side. Okay. But we've had another CME, and I can't find it. So we'll look at that in a minute. But I'm not seeing anything show up on here. We're getting a little bit of bright right here. I went and looked at over here. I guess I didn't look at the 171. But it would be firing off this way, and I'm not seeing no like ejection over here, unless it happens kind of like right there. I'm just not seeing nothing eject over there, guys, unless it's right in front of here and it's just not showing up yet. So, you know, I'll keep an eye on it. Well, maybe there was one right there. Yeah, there kind of was. You can see it a little. See how it kind of opens up right there? But there's, you know, as I move across through here, look what happens over here. That's another CME. See it blowing right there? So, oh, I forgot to show you guys this too. I told you I would, and I forgot about it. Let me, So this is stereo A, okay? This is the view from the side. Oh, that one's back on the 25th. I need to get something a little bit more current. So again, this is a side view. So these are those sunspots that we can see right here. Okay? They're off the limb here because we're looking from the side. But look what's back here. Alright? So we're going to have to pay attention to this. This is something that, you know, because we had a CME blow off the back side already. So we're going to have to watch these as these come around. I think that, if I'm correct, I think this one, remember last week, we had one blow off the other side when it flared pretty good. I think that's that same sunspot. And if it is, it's still, you know, going right along. But we got some other active areas here too. So you can kind of see these right here. Right? Let me, see that? See how that's starting to crest? It's going to. It's going to crest over, and we're going to see it. But what the thing is, these over here are probably going to going to almost rotate off by the time these get out in front. So they're kind of just switching places. So I don't look for our X-ray level to go up too much more. It could, but looking at that, I wouldn't draw that conclusion by looking at that. Okay, I already showed you guys those. Okay, so again, this thing updated again. It's seen a CME over on this side, and it looks like it's blowed right over Mercury. But you know, it. And I was looking at this, and I'm like, you know, are we going to get hit by it? Well, looking at that, the angle of it looks like it's going to completely miss us, right? Well, there's a wake on these things sometimes, like when you're in a boat, and it's almost like we may catch a sideways glance of this, because if you look, right there, it kind of reaches down like it might catch us a little bit. The side view definitely looks like it could catch us from the side view, but the big one here is this one. Okay, remember where it gets distorted is where it's at. Watch how close it comes to us. Okay, I mean it barely misses us, and that's just the wake of that one. It's not. It would be head on if we caught it, but you know, we could still catch something from that if it's close enough, or if it's off a little bit in its calculation there, the model itself. We had about 9 fireballs. Here's those sunspots again compared to the size of the Earth. Okay. Again, we got auroras again. So, yeah. The aurora thing ain't going to stop. Now, they're talking about the CME guys that could be hitting us on the first right here. And it most certainly could. It could be between the first and the second, in my opinion. If we go back here and look at it, you can see that's the first. So the Enzo model itself is not saying it's going to be here on the first. It's actually saying it's going to be here around the second. So we'll have to see, wait and see which one's correct. But then it's, then we go on forward and we're getting an increase in solar wind speed there. So we could have multiple things going on here pretty quick like. Okay, so one last thing before I get off here, guys. I was looking at this map here, right, on the earthquakes. So I'm backed off like this, and I'm looking. And we've been getting some today, guys. I mean, some 4s and 5s mainly. Bigger, if we're going to go on the bigger side of things here. Usually, mainly in the 4s. Okay? I think this one down here was like a 5, yeah. That was a 5. This one just happened there. That was a 4-3 in Fiji. Okay. But I was trying to see where we were swarming at. And if we go here, we start seeing the swarms, right? That's what we look at. So I take this off. Take that part of it off the map there. I'm over here looking. And this may not be nothing at all. And most likely it probably isn't. It's just something that caught my eye. You got earthquakes here, right? You got earthquakes here, earthquakes here. First thing in my mind, that most definitely is on the same line of latitude. Okay? I know it's not on the equator or anything, but as far as latitude goes, that's directly in the same line. Then, you got 2 earthquakes almost equal distance of these 2. And they're almost in the exact same area. And not to mention that, and this probably doesn't have nothing to do with it, but the bigger one's here, and then the smaller one's here, and here. They almost look like identical. I mean, so I don't know what to think of that. And then, to catch one here, too. Now, the size of them are small. 2.6, a 1.2, okay, 2.5, a 1.9, and that one's a 0.7. Okay, these are not big ones at all. It's just something that caught my eye. If there's anything there to talk about, I haven't looked at the chat yet. Not sure if Ricky's in there or not. Okay. You guys doing all right in there? Hi, Missy. How you doing? Never give up. What's up? Arizona George. What's up, Arizona and George? How you guys doing? Hey, what's up, Scott? Hey, Hilly. Knowledge, what's up? What was your guys' question? I'm sure Scott answered it for you. I didn't really read it. Here, we're coming out of the solar minimum, and the sun's magnetic field is getting stronger. Therefore, the interaction is greater in intensity. Yeah. Yep. Not to mention that our magnetic field is weaker. But yeah, what's causing the stuff out there? Most definitely the sun's magnetic field's getting a little stronger as we come back up out of solar minimum. and it's going to react with any other object that's out there a lot harder when that happens. So yeah, it's kind of what I just said, wasn't it? So yeah, but like I said, guys, this is something that none of us can predict. We can't. Unfortunately, we can show you guys all of the observations that we have, but when it comes down to trying to see what these things are made out of, how big their magnetic field is, how strong it is, we're left to just with some sort of an educated guess of some sort, because we don't have any kind of concrete data on what the stuff's made out of or any of that. Hey, what's up, Steven? IG. Somebody asked if I was on Discord. No, I'm not on Discord. I actually thought about opening one up, especially for our mod group. I thought about doing that just to see, so we can communicate, have some things, if we got things going on and all that. But yeah, EMPCO. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that. Is it an EMP, like a protector? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you start seeing halos, like if you look up in the sky and you start seeing sun halos everywhere, yeah, send those off to us. We'd like to take a look at them, because it would be kind of a direct indication that the magnetic field is definitely getting a little stronger. And here's the worry, guys, and I think Scott's on the same page as me with this, that, we're coming out of this solar minimum, and I've been talking for a while now that right now is the most dangerous time, because the sun's already getting active. We knew it was going to. And let me show you guys this, because this plays into it too. Let me get the chat back up here. That this right here is what bothers me. If you go back to the last solar cycle and compare year to year from right now, there was a 2% increase in activity from the deepest part of the solar minimum we were in solar cycle 24 to here, to the very next year, the first ramp up year. And it's only 2%. Right now we're sitting at a 9% increase, and I look for that number to go higher, as far as this number here will drop. Is increasing faster, okay, compared to the last solar cycle. And what that means is our magnetic field is getting weaker. It hasn't recovered. So when we're going to start getting more and more activity, just like we've been getting these flares and stuff, we're going to get a taste of it. We're going to get a CME later on this week, and we're going to get some sort of an idea if that actually does hit us. There's a chance it might not even hit us at all. But this here is for me is one of the most dangerous parts or times that we're in, because as the sun ramps up, we're not. And anything that gets thrown at us is going to affect us a lot more. Whether it's the reaction of the objects out there with the sun causing it, or any of that, if it's doing it out there and then it actually gets shot our way, that's the worry, or concern, I should say. I don't worry about this stuff, but this is the stuff that I think about right here, because that, to me, that's one of the biggest things that. Yeah, Jamie, that's what it's talking about, the sun halo. So yeah, guys, that's definitely what I would be talking about right there. Because look, guys, I mean, we watch these things pop up in like a day, not even a day, like 6 hours. And then this one pops up right after this one got through blowing a bunch of flares. Now this one, like I said, check it out. Look at this. I mean, if this doesn't tell you we're not ramping up, nothing does. I mean, if we were to go through there and count all them flares, guys, every one of these little ones right here, those are flares. Okay? If you'd have looked at this thing last month, it would have looked like the solar proton flux. How often do CMEs happen? You know, they happen all the time. But what our scientific community and what the scientists don't really, plug into their formulas and stuff is the fact that when we have CMEs, they don't always come at us. If they're on the backside, you don't ever hear anybody talking about it but probably me and Scott. I mean, why not talk about that? Because it's part of it. It is showing that the sun's active. It's more and more active. So, yeah, I mean, and stuff like, well, I got something here I'll show you real quick. And then I'm going to get off here. Got something I got to go do. I recorded this earlier because I didn't know if it was still going to be doing it or not. Who cares? Just start the stupid thing. So what this is, guys, is that it's that same model I showed you guys, but this is from earlier. I just did a little screen recording, and this is what I come up with. Now watch it. Watch how intense this gets really, really quick. It's going to take it a second, but it'll get there. You're seeing a little bit. Now look, watch. If you look up here, you can actually see how high it gets as far as the level. So you look at that. That was a pretty good hit. Okay? And what's kind of crazy, you guys know what's right here? That's the South Atlantic anomaly. That's where the magnetics are all jacked up. This thing is split into two now, by the way, in case if you guys didn't know that. That's been pretty big news, even on mainstream science. This thing, the South Atlantic anomaly, is a spot on the Earth magnetically that it doesn't act like the rest of it does. It's weaker in some areas. It's stronger. It's thinner. I mean, it's all jacked up if you guys go research this. But this is now, this whole anomaly has split into two, and it covers all of South America now, and it has reached over into Africa. This thing is like this big now. It's yeah. So, when we're looking at stuff like that, we just got to keep that in mind. Yeah, the South Atlantic anomaly, it's I would definitely research that if you guys don't know what that is. I've talked about it quite a few times. I wish I could go over all that stuff every video, guys, but I can't. It would just take so long. Yeah, you can kind of do that, like Scott says right there. When we're looking at the northern lights, what he's talking about there is our tilt. The magnetics of the Earth are kind of staying in the same spot, but our Earth itself will actually tilt a little bit, but the magnetics will stay in the same spot. So it does show kind of, in other words, the auroras are going to shift a little bit. And actually, I think didn't I bring that up to you guys about a week ago? I was showing you guys, hey, just because the North Pole's here doesn't mean that's exactly where the aurora is. And I explained that to you guys, that we're talking about magnetics. And, so, then we get those weird red ones and stuff that was going on. We got cracks in our magnetic field because of the McPherson effect. And that's something that we experience quite often now. And, when we get pink auroras, you know what causes that, right, guys? And I explained it last week and this week a little bit, is the solar wind gets in and it starts reacting with the nitrogen atoms, not the oxygen. Where are the nitrogen atoms at? They are down further. They're closer to the surface, right around 100 kilometers. Okay? Oxygen is up higher. So that's why we see green. Now, also, there's other, what we're seeing there is the particles will excite either the oxygen or the nitrogen molecules. And what we get as a visual is the actual molecule or the atom going back to its resting state. That release of energy is what we see visually. Okay? So when we have a slow release of that, when it's up high in the atmosphere, we'll get red auroras on top of green ones. Because the red still comes from the oxygen, but it's a slow release. And when that slow release happens, it puts off red photons. And that's what we see. They're very, very rare, but we had them for almost 4 days in a row last week, if you guys remember. And everybody's like, well, why did this happen? What's going on with this? I took you guys straight over to the solar wind map and showed you guys that we were in the 200s for almost 4 days with solar wind speed. That's extremely slow. So it makes sense there would be a slower reaction time back to normal. I don't know why people couldn't have grasped that. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely stupid. I don't know. But, to me it made perfect sense. It was an odd thing to see the solar wind down that low anyway for that extended period of time. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, guys. When we're talking about charged particles, you got 4 states of matter, right? Solid, liquid, gas, and, that's where it used to stop. They actually, now we have plasma. What's plasma? All it is charged. It's gas that has a charge. That's it. That's what it is. So it's charged particles. It's solar wind. That's pretty much what we're seeing. So, yeah. And, it is what it is, But yeah. Yeah, Steve, I don't even call it any names. The thing is, we don't even really know how many's out there. That's the whole thing. It's hard to grab a hold and to say this is this, that's this, and all that, right? Yeah, I agree with that, Scott. I do. Hey, Hilly, did you watch that video? Just curious. But yeah, guys, I'm probably gonna go ahead and get off here. I got stuff I got to go do, but I'm gonna come back on a little bit later, guys. Probably around, I don't know, 10 o'clock ish, I guess, maybe. If I'm okay, if I'm not tired. But I just wanted to put that out there, guys. Get this out here. And that's, I wanted you guys to see how active all that stuff is happening. Hilly Billy, did you see that video or did you not? Just tell me yes or no. That's all. I'm just curious. If you could, just email me your thoughts on that. I would love that. If you would, please. Della, Brenda, good to see you guys in here. Thanks for coming by and helping help with the chat and all that. Back at you, Missy. Scott, thanks for being in here, brother. Hope you're doing all right, man. I will, Arizona. Thank you. I think Hilly's ignoring me. I don't know if he is or not. You ignoring me, Hilly? Come on, man. I'm waiting on you. I will alert. Promise. Oh, okay. Cool. That's cool. I'll share that video with you guys later. I don't want to share it right now because it is on a subject that needs some discussion. Oh, okay. Sorry, man. Hey, Axe, what's up? If I post that, I'm gonna have to give you guys a little bit of. We're gonna have to talk about it for a second because it's not something that you could watch and really know unless you're knowledgeable about the subject. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to cut out. Me and my family are going to get some dinner and all that, so God bless. Thank you, mods. Thank you, subs. I'll be back a little bit later tonight, probably. God bless. Yahuwah saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.